Good evening, everyone. We're so excited to be here, and we thank you for joining us. My name is Joe Maton.
And I'm Meredith Jorgensen-Cook, and our business is called Life and Legacies. It all started 7 years ago with an idea and a man named Egon. Not the Egon from Ghostbusters, but this Egon, a different Egon, Egon Jorgensen, my grandfather. This man has an unbelievable story. He was born and raised in Denmark. He came to the United States in 1945 on this ship, the Jutlandia. He didn't speak a lick of English, but he still managed to court and marry my grandmother, Marilyn. They were still married 65 years later, when within weeks of each other, they were both diagnosed with lung cancer. As a granddaughter, I was devastated, but I was also so sad for our whole family. These people had all the stories. They knew our family history. They had created so many meaningful memories, like this one.
So I met my wife there, and I looked at her, now my wife, her beautiful face, her eyes, they were the most beautiful eyes and kissable lips I've seen.
There he's describing the first time he ever saw her. It was my desire to capture stories like that, save them and share them, and that's how Life and Legacies was born.
And that's why we're here tonight. We created Life and Legacies to be a video documentary company that interviews people telling their life stories, archives it and shares it with their family, with their friends, and with the community. And we think we're the perfect team to do this because we're a storytelling duo, and we've been so for more than a decade. When I was a photographer at News 8, Meredith was my reporter.
Well, and working together now, our mission is to empower everyone to tell their stories. And the best part is, you can all be customers because everyone has a story. But we've identified a problem. Few people ever actually tell their story. So we asked why. This is what we found.
Some people lack the access. They don't have the equipment, or they don't know where to start. Others are silent because they're afraid to share their story, or they don't realize that they have a story worth sharing. And sadly, there's others in our community who are systematically oppressed and have never been asked to share their story. It's something that we're seeing happening right now with the Syrian refugees. These are families who are being forced to flee their homeland, which may be the biggest story of their lives. But it's not the only story, and we want to tell the entire story. Something that we also hear from World War II veterans who tell us that a lot of times people want to hear about their experiences during the war, but the stories that they really want to share are the ones that they're never asked. What happened during the rest of their life?
Today, we're giving them all a voice. Some people might see our business, though, and say, so what? Well, it turns out that the so what is our social impact. Storytelling is so important, both for the people who are telling the stories and those that are hearing them. A story can change someone's life. So through Life and Legacies, we're going to gather all those untold stories, and then here, this is our social enterprise. We're going to share them with the greater community, online and on TV. We want people to learn something new. We want people to be motivated to take action. We want to convince people to make a change. When you hear somebody's story, their struggles, their successes, their joys, it can make a real difference. I remember when I was a cancer patient going through chemotherapy, when I would hear the stories of people who had survived and were still alive, those stories gave me the motivation to keep fighting. Those stories can also go even further than that, and it can make a difference. People will stand up for injustice, they will donate their time to a new cause, or maybe they'll even make a change within themselves because of learning from someone else's experience. Stories can have an unbelievable social enterprise. Egon stood for me.
So here's how we're going to do it. Our business model calls for $17,000 in startup costs, which will include the purchase of all the equipment that we need to start doing the interviews. Based on market research, we've priced our packages at $999 and $599, both of which include a 60-minute finished product and a host of other extras, including our story inventory, interview preparation, and several copies of archival quality DVDs and Blu-rays. You'll also get the option to have us come into your home to do the interview or come into our studios. But we also don't want good stories to go unheard because people can't afford it, which is why we're also offering a limited number of our extremely affordable $50 options to people who have a compelling story and a need to tell it. For these, we'll earn the copyright to the content, which will allow us to put it in the most exciting part of our business, a local TV show we're producing called Storytellers by Life and Legacies.
I kind of thought, sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. I thought that would be a good one, but Joe went with storytellers, so we think that that's probably better anyway. We're making a big claim here, but we're already well on our way. We're proud to announce a partnership with Fig Magazine, which means we already have 47 new customers. And this partnership aligns really nicely with our business model. The work we do on the first 40 customers will help turn a profit. But here's the cool part. We will shoot those remaining 7 stories for free, which means that some wonderful and very interesting people in Lancaster will get to share their story even if they can't afford it. And it doesn't stop there. We've just signed a lease on a new building. It will soon be our bright new studio, so come visit us on North Prince Street in downtown Lancaster. You have a story to tell. Let us help you tell it. Life and Legacies empowers the unheard voices in Lancaster. So what's your story? Thank you.